I'm really happy to welcome my friend Adam, Reverend Adam Sutton, here today. It's so fun to have him. Reverend Adam was the spiritual leader at Unity Cambridge, Unity Boston. Unity Hyannis wants him, but the commute's too far. And I need him here right now. So
Pleasure to be here.
We're really happy to have him. He's awesome. We're going to start with a rearrangement of a tune called Blessing to the World. So stay with us. We're heading right into Use Me, which is a tune by Ricky Byers-Beckwith, and Adam brought this to us. I'm really digging it.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Come on, guys. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, sweet, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. think that God was the Son. God is the Son, but God's so much more than the earth or the sky or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, and God needs us to shine His light as me, as you. Oh, use me. Oh, God, I stand for you, and here we abide as you show me all that I must do. Why don't you show me all that I must do? Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, heals all things new, and God needs us to shine His light as me, as you. Everybody, use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Why don't you show me all that I must? Oh, show me all that I must do. All right. You guys sound great. You sound great. Let it in. Raise the vibration. That's what we're here for. Amen.
All right, you're up. Stay standing and hold the hand of the person next to you. Yeah, awesome. This is Shirley the president.
Let us pray. Indeed, the presence of God is here in, through, and as us. The presence of God is moving across the face of this earth in, through, and as us. To say, use me, O God, is to say, yes, I will be the hands, the face, the voice, the heart of all that is. I will stand for God. I will stand for peace. I will stand for harmony. I will stand for equality. I will stand for truth. This is the invitation that is before us each and every minute of our day. And to the call into this higher purpose, to be the highest and best version of the divine that we are called to be, we say yes. We say yes. And so it is, and so let it be. Amen. You may be seated. Good morning. Whoa, not to get too loud. Hi, I'm Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here at Unity on the River. Give it a one more time for Adam. Awesome. And I know what y'all thinking. Yes, he's back to the t-shirts. This will make sense later. If you can't read it, it says resist. I'll talk about it later. Don't worry. All my t-shirts are props. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that my summer weight gain has not allowed me to get back into my suits yet. Nothing to do with that at all. They're all props supporting my message. I don't know what y'all are thinking, but y'all look much better dressed than I am. You look beautiful, glorious today. And as I like to say here, if we want to see the face of God, we simply look to another and see them. So turn to one and say, God looks good today. And God looks good today in these musicians, these singers, and this wonderful poised. I'm running out of adjectives. Poised, professional facilitator. Gina Jeunesse, thank you for doing this today, Gina. Appreciate you.
Hello. Good morning. Hi, welcome to Unity on the River. And I'm Gina Jeunesse. I'm facilitating service this morning for Reverend Ogun here. We also stream live, and back there you can wave to say good morning to everyone who's streaming back at home. Thank you for being with us. We'd also like to welcome anyone who's here celebrating with us for the first time. Is anyone here? Raise your hand if you're here celebrating for the first time. Oh, right here. We do have someone. Raise your hand so they can bring you a packet. In that packet is some information about the church and a flower that gives you a discount in our bookstore, 10% off today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to go through those doors after service today for coffee and conversation, and if you have questions. We bless you and thank you for coming. Please know we welcome all paths to God. You enrich our experience here together. Unity on the River is a center of celebration and transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Please hold these truths in your heart as we say together our mission and vision statement. Our mission statement is, we are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence of all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision statement is, centered in love, rejoice, we co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. All right. Brief announcements today. Eliza Goodell, she's back there. Would you stand for a second? If you don't know her. Eliza is going to be doing a workshop here on November 7th, How to Keep the Magic in Big Magic. It's going to be here at 7 p.m., love offering $15, and the sign-up date will cut off on September 3, so please sign up as soon as possible in the Resource Center. We need at least 5 students to sign up to run this workshop. Eliza had talked to me a little bit before service, and it sounds like an awesome workshop. So if you guys are interested, see her at least for questions so that you can know more about it. We also have hosts and facilitators for Adventures in Faith. They are needed for these weeks, October 8th through November 5, a 5-week time. Please consider that. And Unity on the River's Meditation Garden Workday Party, Saturday, September 9 to 11 a.m. And your help is needed for this, to get the garden looking its best prior to our visit from the Tibetan monks. We're going to have a lot of visitors enjoying the garden the following week, culminating in the garden's dedication on Saturday, September 16th. Please come and bring gloves, garden rake, weed scratcher, wheelbarrow, large buckets if you can. Prepare to have fun raking the gravel paths, removing weeds, spreading fresh mulch, and other tasks. Come for the morning or whatever time you can spare would be greatly appreciated. So we look our best for our visitors. And now is the time in our service where we do namaste. We take a moment to greet each other in love with either a handshake or a hug. And I invite you to say, I see you, I see your beauty, I see your magnificence, I see the divine in you.
I'm thrilled to welcome Adam back to the mic. This is a tune that I wrote, but I totally reshifted the key and changed it for Adam because it sounded better when he sang it.
Not better, just different.
Check it out. Yeah, check it out. I'm into it.
Pulled from the dark to follow the light. The love from my heart was trapped and tight. When I remember home far from the earth, I walk this land from a spirit's birth, and then I'm free from the fire, free from the pain. Let the light of love live again. Yes, I'm free from the sorrow, free from the shame. Let the light of love live again. Pulled from the ledge where I could forget the magnificent love, the finest gift. Pulled from the lie of what I am not. When I let go, I'm no longer lost. Then I'm free from the fire, free from the pain. Let the light of love live again. Yes, I'm free from the sorrow, free from the shame. Let the light of love live again. Oh, return to love. Oh, return to love. Return to love. Oh,
Turn on the mic. Free. Turn off the mic. What's that? I'm still healing. Yes, let's call it that. So we are continuing our series on the power of joy, featuring some highlighting this book, the Book of Joy. We have copies in our bookstore now in case you haven't gotten your copy yet, by the Dalai Lama and Bishop Desmond Tutu. It's an inspiring read. It's a challenging read, what they are inviting us to embrace, to step into, to live from. If anyone else but these two were saying what they're saying, I'd call them crazy. But because these two have exemplified how to, as the book title says, lasting happiness in a changing world. They've exemplified how to stay grounded in peace and joy, in who you truly are, in the midst of atrocities that we can't begin to imagine to experience. We have Desmond Tutu, who walked through that journey of apartheid in South Africa. Dalai Lama, who was evicted from his home in Tibet and has been in exile ever since. Still considered a spiritual leader of a people with basically no home. So the fact that these guys can walk out of this and not be embittered, not be grounded in anger and hatred is inspiring to us all. And one of the things they say is that what is it that we are here to do? And we're here to experience joy. We're here to live from joy. The deeper essence of it, past the emotional, fickle happiness that which is good too. We want to be happy, but joy is the thing that surpasses that stands under that covers that, so that when we do have moments of unhappiness in our life, they don't sweep us away. They don't hijack us. The joy keeps us moving forward. So today, one of the things that we're going to get into is the how-to. The last 2 weeks was a nice overview of the concept, but that makes no difference unless there's a how-to. How do we stay grounded in that place of joy? How do we not let the things outside of us sweep us away? How do we not let our thoughts sweep us away as well? One of the things the Dalai Lama talks about, oh yeah, that's them, by the way. I forgot to do the slide thing. Book of Joy, and that's them. And Dalai Lama talks about creating mental immunity, okay? I'll read this full quote. He says, just as a healthy immune system protects your body against potentially hazardous viruses and bacteria, mental immunity creates a healthy disposition of the mind so that it will be less susceptible to negative thoughts and feelings. Being as sick as I was this week, my apparently immune system was not as healthy as I thought it was. So reading this, I was like, where were you 2 weeks ago when I could have needed that boost? But mental immunity. So how do we create a healthy physical immunity? We eat well, we exercise. If we need to take meds, we take our meds. We do the things to keep our body functioning and warding off all the stuff out there. Does this mean we never get sick? Evidently not. We still get the occasional thing. It does not mean that I don't have a relatively healthy immune system. It still happens. So it goes with mental immunity. Mental immunity is creating that kind of like mental resistance so that we're not swept away with everything that happens. Now, occasionally we'll still get triggered. Why? Because we're human. It happens. But the key is that when we develop our mental immunity, we will be less susceptible, not immune to, but less susceptible to negative thoughts and feelings. And when we get there, we stay there less. Okay, we stay there less. The first thing he says is, one of the things he says is, this enables us, our mental immunity enables us to make a distinction between the rational and the emotional. Okay, the rational and the emotional. Rational is like just clear thinking. Okay, our rational thinking says, hey, something's come up, we've got to address it. Okay, something's come up, we've got to address it. What often happens is when something comes up, before we get to the point of saying, hey, what are we called to do to address it, we get swept away with the emotions of it. okay? Mental immunity says, this thing's come up, we've got to address it, but our emotions stay out of the picture. We stay calm, is what we're doing. Mental immunity develops our ability to do that. And he says that one of the things we first have to realize, this is a step, kind of like the step one of this, is to realize and accept there's going to be suffering in life. If any of you have done any reading, research, or follow any Buddhism, you know this is like the first noble truth in Buddhism, that there's suffering, okay? Now, here's a distinction we need to make. Suffering doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be pain and hardship, okay? The word suffering in this saying there's going to be suffering is the Sanskrit word dukkha. And dukkha originates from a concept of riding in your cart and you have an axle and the axle may not be smooth or the road may not be smooth, so you have a bumpy ride. The opposite of dukkha is sukha. Sukha means smooth ride. So basically, someone would come on a journey and they was like, well, how was your ride? Oh, it was dukkha. Or it was sukha. And a nice smooth ride. Now, what do we know about that? It's all a matter of perception. It's all relative. What may be a bumpy ride to you may be a smooth ride to me, and vice versa. It's, all relative. It's a matter of how we decide to perceive it. So the suffering in and of itself is a matter of perception. If we don't see it as suffering, is it going to be suffering? No. There's some things that are inescapable of suffering. For example, I've been coughing up a lung for a week. Trust me, I suffered. There's suffering here. Some of you are going through worse illnesses than I'm going through. There's physical discomfort. There's mental fatigue. There's emotional anguish that comes along with when you're ill. Okay? So I'm not saying that there isn't any of that. But again, the extent to which we perceive that we're suffering from it is, again, up to us. And what we know is our perception matters. And science has proven this over and over again. Our perception, what we tell ourselves, about our bodies, about when we're ill and when we're healing, makes a difference in our recovery. So the first noble truth is that there's suffering. I'm not going to go through all the noble truths now, because this is not going to segue down Buddhism, but if you want to paraphrase them, this is it. Life sucks. Life sucks because you want stuff. If you don't want life to stop wanting stuff. And if you want to know how to stop wanting stuff, you follow the Eightfold Path. That's a nice summation of updated paraphrase for our modern language, and that's the Four Noble Truths. If you want to know more about the Eightfold Path, just hit the internet, buy some Buddhist books out in the bookstore. Maybe I'll hit them in some talk series later on. But yeah, that's it. Life sucks because you want stuff. You want and stuff doesn't necessarily mean material stuff. It just means you want something other than what is in front of you right now in this moment. You want a desire for change, instead of basically accepting that this is what's happening and being okay with it. Being okay with it. Being okay with it doesn't mean we don't do anything about it, but it simply means we don't get sucked up into the despair, okay? And this happens in all things. The question you have to ask yourself now is, the stuff you want, is the frustration that's arising, is the source of the suffering, is it real or is it imagined? Is it real or is it imagined? I'm giving you an example of imagine. This is an example of mine, I'm going to throw myself under the bus, my imaginary suffering. My daughter, as you know, she's 16. She's been learning to drive, and she recently completed her driver's ed course. And she said to me, so, when I get my license, am I going to get a new car? To which I said, no. You're going to get you a job. I'm going to get me a new car. She's like, why? I said, because I have a job. I can pay for a new car. You don't have a job. She goes, so wait, so if you're getting a new car, does that mean I get the Camry that we have? I said, no. said, what do you mean? He says, you get to drive it if I let you when I think you need it, but you don't get to own the car. She goes, well, that's not fair. I said, that is true. I'm not going to argue that, because here's the thing. You start driving that car, you're going to have to put gas in it. And not to mention the insurance is going to go up on it, which you're going to need to help pay for as well. How are you going to do that? With money. How are you going to get money? With a job. So we can get a job. Now, I'm saying this all to her, but meanwhile inside, I'm thinking, new car. New car. Been a while since I had a new car. It's been a while. The Camry we're currently driving was Jennifer's, my late wife, and she got that in 2013. The last time I had a new car, just for me, brand new. Wait. 2003. No, 2002. 2002, when I was tired of my aching back from pulling my daughter in a car seat out of my two-door Honda Civic. And we said, time for a new car. We were not fans of minivans or station wagons, so I bought a Hyundai Santa Fe SUV, and it was brand new, and long story short, we don't have it anymore, but that was the last time. So Joy says, okay, so what are you going to get? And I said, funny you should mention. That, my friends, is a 2017 Mazda Miata RF, okay? Now, a little backstory. I've always wanted to own a Mazda Miata. I mean, like always, okay? It's a two-door convertible sports car. When you have a family of three, having a two-door car seems a little self-indulgent and selfish, basically. Joy is about to, she's turning 17. She's going to be 18 soon, driving on her own. I'm the only adult in the family, so I'll be selfish. I paid my dues. It's time to have a little fun, happiness, enjoy life. So I'm going to get a sinking Mazda. Now, here's the thing about Miatas. They're convertibles, and we live in New England, right? So I said to myself, I can't get a soft-top convertible, because winter is going to be up half the time. It's a soft top. It's not going to keep me really protected from the elements. But then this year, Mazda blessed their hearts. This is what I love about intentions. I'm not saying my intention made Mazda do this. Coincidence and correlation are two different things. But they had created this hardtop convertible, this hardtop car, which when you press a button, the roof comes back, and you're left with that. Easy, give it time. You're left with this open top, Targa type thing. Remember Magnum PI, the Ferrari he drove? Yeah, I'm dating myself. So it's open top. Can you imagine me? And that's Highway 1A, the Seacoast, and I'm just driving my car. So this is what's gonna happen now. So in June, I went to test drive a Mazda Miata. It was glorious. Everything I imagined it would be, and then more. Yeah, I got time. For all you car buffs out there, indulge me for a second. Okay. It's not a powerful engine. Okay, only 155. What is it? cc's. It's not a powerful engine. But no, it's not rotary. But it's a very light car. And that added mechanical roof adds a little less than 100 pounds to it. So it zips. It flies. They retuned the suspension because the center of gravity is now further back because of the roof. You're indulging me. Just hang in with me. So I'm driving this thing. It is zippy. It is quick. It's everything I dreamed of. It's everything I dreamed of. So we get back to the dealership, and the young lady who took me for the drive, she's like, so, are you ready to buy? I said, yes, but I know myself, and I have a problem with impulse control. So let me just think on it for a day or two, okay? So I'm thinking about it. And it occurs to me, being the wise steward of my finances, Joy doesn't get her license till October, okay? So why not just wait then? Save myself a couple months of car payments, save myself a couple months of extra insurance, and just wait. We only need one car right now, so I'll just wait. They'll still be there, okay? So that's like the angel on my shoulder. The other creature on my shoulder is like, you're in New England. It's October. It's going to be cold. You can't put the top down. Get it now. Get it now. So these two are raging this thing, okay? So there's this inner battle going on inside of me. Get me out of now. No, just wait. Be smart. No, get it now. You got a few more weeks of warm weather left. And every 84 plus degree sunny day, I'm like, oh my God, if I had the Miata now, what would I be doing? So we're going over and over this. I'm watching all the Miata videos on YouTube, just like salivating. I'm reading all the reviews of this car, negative and positive, and weighing the pros and the cons. Who do I want to trigger? I am going on and on, just perseverating about this car for like the last 2-3 months. It was misery. There's a club? There's a Miata club. I'm going to join the Miata club. Okay, so here I am. What? A lot of women. There's a lot of women. I'm going to join them. I'm just so this is an example of imagined suffering. Imagine, there's no real issue here. October's going to roll around. Joy's going to get her license. The car will probably be less by then. Going to buy the thing. Summer, spring will roll around next year. I'm going to be fine. Right? Imagined suffering over a car. What's wrong with me? So imagine suffering. But then in life sometimes we have real suffering. We have things that happen in our world that make us go, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Good example, Friday evening, while we're all having concerns about this hurricane about to slam into Texas and stuff like that. And we saw the headlines maybe the next day about Sheriff Joe Arpaio from Arizona being pardoned. And that sent me into like some real anguish and suffering. What is the message that's being sent when someone who was basically arrested? He wasn't arrested, but basically charged with violating the order to stop racial profiling, to stop creating these unimaginable conditions for immigrants in Arizona where he lived, was pardoned. In the last couple of weeks, the protester that was killed in Charlottesville, Heather Harris, part of a tribute to her, a lot of people were reposting the last thing she had on her Facebook page. And it's a saying that has been out there for a couple of years as these resistance movements, a couple of months, but years, as the resistance movements have been coming up. It says, if you are not outraged, you're not paying attention. If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. And a couple of folks have sent me messages over the months when we truly had the rise of both, the alt-right, and we also had high visibility of Black Lives Matter when we had a lot of the police shootings. And they say to me things like, we find it curious that you would post things with the hashtag resist. Don't we believe that what we resist persists? And how can we say, if we're not outraged, we're not paying attention? We don't want to live in a place of anger. So it's not ours to become outraged. We're not supposed to be outraged about this. I want to draw a few distinctions for you. First of all, there's a difference between being outraged and being enraged. Okay? There's a difference between being outraged and being enraged. Being enraged is when you are so steeped in anger that the anger is what drives you. The anger is what dictates your actions and your choices and your words. The anger leads you to a place of violence. That's when you become enraged. Okay? I don't know if you guys watched The Avengers, quick segue, if you watched The Avengers, but at one point, Tony Stark looks to Bruce Banner and says, how is it that you can control your anger? And he says, that's the trick. He says, I'm just kind of always angry. But in order to become the Hulk, he became enraged. And then the beast took over. That's becoming enraged. Outrage is when you notice an injustice, an inequality being perpetrated, and it stokes your anger. And you say, this is not okay. This is not okay. Now, the good thing about developing the mental immunity is that the anger does not consume you. The outrage doesn't lead you to being enraged. But you need to have the outrage because you need to be able to say, hey, guess what? No, this is not okay. It is not okay. If we want to experience heaven on earth, if we want to experience the total love and oneness that we talk about, we cannot discriminate against another. And when we see it happening, we have to say something about it. We have to shine a light on it. We have to say, this is not okay. So we can be outraged. But I invite you not to become enraged. When we speak about resist, what we're saying is when we see this tide of populism and nationalism that will again try to say that we are different and one is better than the other, no, we can resist that flow. In unity, when we speak about a new thought, when we speak of what we resist persists, we're talking about our thoughts in the mind that focus on the wrong thing. Our thoughts in the mind that focus on the wrong thing. And we see this a lot in our prosperity and abundance teachings when we talk about not focusing on the lack. Many of us try to step into abundance teachings, but still focus on what we don't have. What we don't have. Me, perseverating about a Mazda Miata, is focusing on what I don't have. Okay? That's lack thinking. I'll be the first to admit it. It's not abundance thinking. That's lack. What I don't have. Okay? So if I keep perseverating on that, that's what I'm just going to keep seeing, what I don't have. What is it that we teach you in abundance classes? The first thing is gratitude. Step into gratitude. When you give thanks for what you do have, for what you are, because everything you are and everything you bring has what? Value. I know I didn't tell you were going to have a pop quiz today, but value. Everything you are, everything you bring has value. Everything you have has value. That's gratitude. That's abundance thinking. That is truly saying, I'm going to resist the lack thinking, focusing on something else. So I'm okay with using the word resist to say, I am not going to focus necessarily on coming from a place of anger and hatred for those who would seek to demonstrate anything but love and equality. What am I going to do instead? I'm going to speak about equality. I'm going to speak about oneness. I'm going to be a voice for these things. And in so doing, be, if you will, a boulder of resistance in this tide of fear, in this tide of, political oppression, if you want to call it, that a lot of us are swimming around in today. We can use these teachings to help support us during this time. This is the whole premise of this book of joy. And if you think that two need to be separate, you've not observed the life of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. He is not known because he's a great priest. Well, he is, but what I'm saying is, what is he most known for? Being an activist against apartheid. Being a voice for something other than a system of oppression. Being a voice, a presence of divinity in the face of a system that would say one of us is better than the other. This is what we're being invited to do, folks. As I always like to say, we talk a lot about spiritual practice. What are we practicing for? Now. This is the time. These are the times for which we have been practicing. And sometimes it's going to be smooth sailing, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's going to be sukha, nice smooth ride. Sometimes it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be dukkha. But when we develop our mental immunity, we're not going to get swept away by it. We are going to be able to have more endurance, more stability, more groundedness, more centeredness. These gentlemen are both recipients of the Nobel Peace Prize. And it's interesting when you think about it. They were awarded one of the highest awards in the world for peace. And where were they in the midst of anything but peace? They didn't resort to violence. They didn't resort to becoming enraged. Because of their mental immunity, because of their clarity of who they are, they were able to be a stand, a voice for peace, for love, for connection, until they got into this point of worldwide recognition and inspiration. We look to people like these and Martin Luther King Jr. and other luminaries, and we quote them, and we look to all the wonderful things that they inspired. But let's not forget where they were when they did that, in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of the hardships, in the midst of the suffering, in the midst of the dukkha, if you will. They did that in the midst of that. Guess what? So can we. So can we. The only difference between us and them is perhaps they practiced longer. They practiced more. And when they were called to a situation where they had to say, I will resist this hatred and this violence and discrimination, and I will be standing a voice for love and peace, they stepped up and they did so. So that's my invitation for you this week. And along the way, be gentle with yourself. Why? Because you are made for perfection. We're not yet perfect, but we are a masterpiece in the making. We are a masterpiece in the making. Be patient with yourself. Go easy with yourself. And when the opportunity comes and you're wondering what is mine to do here, take a breath, turn within, and know that the strength that you need is right here. Right here. Let's take this into meditation. So if you're comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. Allow your feet to rest on the floor. Just spend a few moments in deep breathing. Allow the deep breaths to center you here in this now moment. And for a moment, bring to mind one thing that you consider a source of suffering. Perhaps an illness, perhaps a conflict with another, a desire for something, for someone. And first ask yourself, is this a real suffering or an imagined suffering? Is my suffering because I seek a different experience? Is my suffering because I have not yet accepted what is? Should my suffering be imagined? I set the intention to let it go, to release it, to focus with gratitude on what is. And even if my suffering is real, as in physical discomfort or illness, I also set the intention of gratitude. I thank my body. I thank those around me who support and love me. I am grateful for who I am, and yes, for what I have, because they are of value. I allow my suffering to be absorbed into the presence of joy that I am. And trust that who I am to be, what I am to do, to say, will always be led from Spirit. And let us rest in this for a few moments in the silence. Together we affirm I release my suffering. I embrace my joy. I release my suffering. I embrace my joy. You may hold these intentions for all these names in this prayer box. Please know at any time while you are here or any time during the week, you can leave prayer requests in our prayer box that will be prayed over by our prayer team and then Silent Unity. And for all these names in this box, for all these requests and intentions, we hold for them also that intention of releasing the mental suffering and embracing the deep joy within. So doing, transforming their perception of who they are and what they're in. And should we hold that intention for anyone else, I invite you to say their names out loud now. In declaring the names out loud, we release our mental suffering and anguish around them, and we see them stepping in to their deep joy. We see them radiating the transformation that we hold for them. We see them being the presence of God. And so it is, and so let it be. Amen.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Well, thank you, Reverend Ogun. Thank you, Adam, for those songs. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the beautiful souls who volunteer as prayer chaplains here. Please rise if you are able in the room, usually in the four corners. These wonderful people can meet with you after service for prayer or gratitude or to simply sit in silence with you. Please know they will hold your prayers and intentions in the strictest of confidence. Also, if you are in need, we have home and hospital prayer chaplains that will do home visits for recuperation or hospital stays. Please see Reverend Annie Houghton or one of the home and hospital prayer chaplains. Are you here today, Annie, or anyone else who's a home and hospital? So please seek them out if you have that need or if you have questions. Remember, you can also submit your prayer requests in the prayer box located in the back of the room. At Unity on the River now has a dedicated phone line that takes prayer requests as well. Our prayer team and Silent Unity will pray over your requests. And now is the time in our service when we prepare our tithes and offerings. Let's hold them and breathe into our energy of abundance as we say our affirmation.
I'm going to add in a tune right now. This is You Are the Face of God.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. Each and every one of you are the face of God. You are the face of God. And I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Let's bring it down. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Let's go ahead and give a prayer of gratitude for these gifts. I invite you to go to that place of gratitude within your hearts. And for all these gifts that we receive here, that we receive online, we receive in our Absolute Abundance class happening now. We give thanks. To give is to focus on what we have and who we are and the value that we bring to this world. When we focus on these things, we see more of them. We see more of the greatness that we are. We see more of the presence of God that we are. So we give thanks for these gifts, and we as a community, we give a portion of these back to our local community and the Unity community as well, and thus continuing the flow of abundance. We are prosperous, and so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Thank you. I want to invite two folks up quickly, Monica and Carol. While they're coming up, I do want to again invite someone. I know someone's here today. This is for you. Who we need one more person to host a monk for the week that the monks are here in their homes. One monk, one home, one of you. Okay? Yes, Laurel? Are you volunteering? Thank you, Laurel. All right, so see Peter afterwards about that. 2 events coming up that these wonderful volunteers are heading up, so I want them to speak briefly about them. Monica. Carol's going to go first.
Hi, everyone. Who doesn't love to throw a party? Come on, seriously. This is your chance. Talk about creating the joy that Reverend Ogun talked about this morning. Now's your chance. We need you to step up and help volunteer for our gala. It's going to be on not too quick. November 11th, and we actually have a few areas that you can help out with. We have advertisement, we have ticket sales, we have decorating, and we have our raffle and our silent auction committees. So you can either be part of the team that is leading that up, or else just be part of the whole committee. So please go into the Resource Center, sign up. I promise you, it is one of the most joyous committees you'll participate in at Unity on the River, and you'll be part of this great celebration that we're all a part of. So need your help. And Diana Clark has actually stepped up to be my co-chair, so we have a lot I just want to thank everyone who's already signed up, but we'll be reaching out to you soon. And then if you can't work on the committee, we would hope that you could at least donate an item for the auction or the raffle. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Monica. I'm going to be heading up the women's retreat, and this is our first women's retreat for our community. And Elaine secured a beautiful spot for us at this Genesis Conference Center in Westfield, Massachusetts. It's about 2 hours from here. So it's October 6th, 7th, and 8th. Starts Friday night, and it goes till noon on Sunday. There's 15 slots, and I'll be in the sacred service area if you want to come by and let me know if you're interested in coming. The purpose of the retreat is to allow us to gather and support each other,
Keep the mic close.
to embrace our power together, to bring our spiritual gifts out into the community more, and to relax and have fun, and also just give us a time of reflection as women here in the community. So I'm really looking forward to heading that up. Tina and I will be leading the retreat. So I'll look forward to seeing you at the Sacred Service Center.
Thank you. Remember, spiritual community is not just what happens here on Sunday morning. It's about what happens Monday through Saturday. It's about the opportunities to come together, celebrate together, worship together, meditate together, play together, work together. All these things what makes up community. Okay, so women's retreat, see Monica, the gala. You know, for some of you, this might be your first opportunity with the gala because you've not been coming here for more than a year. Trust me, you don't want to miss the gala, because we know how to party hard in this place. We really do. And you want to be a part of it. And some of you are thinking, I know, introvert's nightmare. I know you're thinking it. That's okay. I'm an introvert too. No, I'm not lying. I know what you're thinking. Him an introvert? No, it's true. But you know what? This is truly a safe, loving space, this gala, to come together. It's also one of our the biggest fundraisers that we have here for our community as well. But the focus it's on gratitude. It's actually a gratitude gala where we reflect on the past year and we give thanks for each other, for all the things we've done as a spiritual community. And it's about celebration. So come celebrate with us. Brian, take it away.
It's time to celebrate. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, well, while you're doing that, Gina's got to thank some people.
Oh,
I
yeah, we
forgot.
did the thank yous.
That's my bad. So there you go.
So, general thank yous are today. It takes so many people to give of their time to help with Sunday service. Thank you for all you do. Angels this week's Nancy, Lucy, Mark, Bob, Juliet, Malik, and Lacey. Our teams, the youth and family volunteers, the bookstore, the office volunteers. And the Unity on the River board members. Our board members here today, if you are, would you please rise? Thank you for the service. They are also available to answer your questions at the end of service today. And Brian, take us to...
It looks pretty, but it's a little more finicky than my regular guitar. So. I bought it so it would match this shirt. I'm close. It's time for the dead and gone. It's time for the broken ones to live again. It's time for the sacrifice. Time for the wings to fly, to live again. I can hear the calling, I can hear the sound of rain. Over the mountains and over the valleys, I hear the calling, and it's time. Over the mountains, over the valleys, I hear the calling, and it's time. It's time for the dead to sing. It's time for the walls to ring with songs of freedom. It's time for the numb to feel. It's time for the wounds to heal with songs of freedom. I can hear the calling, I can hear the sound of rain. Over the mountains, over the valleys, I hear the calling. It's time. Over the mountains, over the valleys, I hear the calling, and it's time. It's time for the tide to turn. Time for our hearts to burn with a desperation. It's time for a sacrifice. It's time that we pay the price for our generation. I can hear the calling, and I can hear the sound of rain. Over the mountains and over the valleys, I hear the calling, and it's time. Over the mountains and over the valleys, I hear the calling, and it's time. Take a key. Take it down. It's time for the dead to rise. It's time for the wings to fly. I hear the calling. It's time. It's time for the numb to feel. It's time for our wounds to heal. I hear the calling. It's time. Time that we paid the price. It's time for a sacrifice. I hear the calling, and it's time. Here we go. Over the mountain, over the valley,
let's stay standing. It is time for our kids. Bring them on in.
We are
Namaste. We are getting ready for the monks. We are creating prayer flags. So we have a bunch more. If next week after service you guys wanted to come in and help us decorate some, we would love your help and adoration. Thanks.
Well, what? Okay, all right. So let's stand, take the hand of your neighbor, hold the truth for these kids and for our entire world as we. Okay, shh. Okay, shh. We'll figure it out after they start singing. Hold it on, hold on. Let there be peace on earth. Yeah.
Let this be the moment.
With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed.
Over the mountains, over the valley, I hear the call